I got spooked.
Is this thing on?
Oh, so
I'm getting there.
so dark.
I'm on a small
I can't
screen.
see. Oh God, I'm so dark. Ah,
Hello, everyone.
All right.
Welcome to another weekly edition of Dane Super Chat 64.
Excellent.
I don't know if that's the correct use of the Dirty Dandy Das for German, but I'm going to go with it.
Close enough.
We got a few topics on the list today.
Only a few.
I feel like I'm yelling because I think I'm yelling at the camera. So, it's bright as hell. We had to decrease the exposure constantly on the webcam. So, as it goes on, as the cast goes on, I'm probably going to have to manually increase the exposure to keep up with the sunlight that was melting my face off as we tried to do stuff.
Did some quick plastic surgery to reattach his face, and did an okay job. You know, I've done worse. I've done worse work.
Thank you. I hope you become my plastic surgeon.
I wouldn't bet on it. I mean, you know, the whole medical license thing, overrated if you ask me. Medical license, schmedical license.
And alright, I'm just gonna post here real quick. And we're live.
Check it. Check it and see.
Oh. Sorry, I'm not even talking. Wait a minute. I'm just gonna put your name ominously down here.
Good.
It does not start with a. Okay.
There we go.
Alright. And I could have hit enter, but I'd rather just
do it live. That's what we're doing.
Let's do that. All right. So first thing on the agenda, as every week goes, what have we been playing for the past week?
Yep.
And as usual, we'll start with you.
Cool. I've not been playing quite as much of the Secret World. I've been shirking that a little bit in favor of boring adult real life things, that whole real life thing that's so much inferior to the digital realm. You know, it's just not as fun. The graphics in real life are nice, but there's no respawn points and no save states.
The graphics are too real. I don't like them.
It's too many HDs. I need fewer HDs. Yeah. So yeah, not quite as much of the Secret World. Although with a group, the handful of us or so that play, we've now hit the point in the game where where most of us have unlocked the hardest difficulty in the game, and we realize just how underprepared we are, and we've kind of hit the point where you don't really so much level up in the game. Like, you unlock new abilities and whatnot, but we're pretty set ability wise. So now the only real way to increase our numbers is by getting really badass equipment and upgrading really badass equipment by getting really badass glyphs and talismans and such. So it's still fun, but and I'm not going to say we've hit a brick wall, but we've hit a solid clay wall that needs better implements with which to topple this bastard. So it's going to be a while before we hit that next spike. But in the meantime, I know I still need to get caught up with the rest of the guys on the main story, because I've been kind of neglecting that lately. So I've still been playing that, just not as much. I had a friend of mine over just yesterday, and we played a little bit of Mario Kart, and just for old time's sake, we popped in Mario 64, played an hour or so of that, and that's always fun. I mean, that was actually the very first game I ever played, ever, in my entire life, and I still have the original copy, the original cartridge, that I actually had signed by Charles Martinet when he came to St. Louis.
Wow.
As part of Kawacon.
That's awesome.
2 years ago, and he's an awesome guy. If you ever get a chance to meet Charles Martinet, one of the coolest, fan-friendliest dudes, and the fact that he's the voice of Mario and Luigi and Waluigi and all these other characters, pretty much every Mario character ever, with the exception of a few chosen. Also did the Dragon King in Skyrim. So he's a very versatile voice actor.
That's awesome.
But he's done all these voices, and he's such a nice guy. If I would have met him and he would have been an asshole, I would have felt so disenchanted. But he's a really awesome dude. So if you ever get a chance to meet him at a convention or something like that, I highly recommend it. Awesome guy. Can't sing his praises enough. So yeah, Mario 64 always hold a special place in my heart.
Absolutely. You know, I sat in Mario 64. I sat at 119 stars for
oh man, yeah,
10 years. I think I sat on it, and then one day I was like, you know what? It's time for me to get this fucking bastard.
Goddamn right.
So I logged back in. I started up the 64 again.
Yep.
This had to have been whenever I was, I guess, on Xbox already at this point. So, booted it back up, and oh man, what was it? It was the level where you have to ride the carpet around.
Yes, I know it well.
So,
I can't remember the exact name of it, but yeah, I know the one.
And I can't remember exactly which star it was.
There's some tough ones. That's one of the last levels.
There's
some tough ones.
And yeah, I fucking got that bastard.
Woo!
Went outside, shot myself to the top of the top of the castle.
Uh-huh.
And who's up there? Yoshi.
Yoshi.
Good old Yoshi's up there and you can get a flying cat.
Yep, and 100 lives.
And 100 lives, and he tells you, "Thank you for playing."
Yep.
Good day.
Have a good one. Here's a cap. Here's some lives. Go nuts.
And I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's
cool. Well, at least you could fly around outside then. So
yeah.
I mean, it was cool. Mario 64 was great. I guess it was like my exploratory. I remember playing back then. There was no real internet sites you could go to.
Yep.
The only one I knew of at the time was like Cheat CC.
Yeah.
And GameFAQs was super early into making reviews and stuff. So I'll never forget just spending time in a game, just running around fucking mindlessly for like 9 hours, like not really doing anything. I remember Mario Kart, me practicing the jumps. Diddy Kong Racing, me practicing trying to master the levels or find secret shit, you know.
Man, that game is tough.
Everything was all rumor back then too, so nothing was ever really, you didn't know if it was true or not until you tried it. So like, I don't know. It was an experience playing games back in the day when there was no internet.
That's a good way to put it. What games you been playing?
Well, last week I'm getting close to platinuming Final Fantasy X on Vita. It's to the point now where it's like a super grind to actually get like all my characters the full sphere grid.
Yeah.
So I'm in like a spot where I'm like, okay, this is gonna be on back burner until I go out of town. So like this will be like a plane type deal, 4 hours sitting on a plane. What better to do?
No.
So I'm like, okay, I put that on the back burner, and then I installed Final Fantasy X2.
Oh wow.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try again. I'm gonna. I was 2 minutes in, and I was like, okay, this story is already.
Yeah.
Like, I already know what the story is. And I was like, this is so cringeworthy. Like,
yeah, it kind of is.
But the combat is actually surprisingly fun. The dress spheres are really fucking weird, but it gives a really cool element to the actual playstyle. The other thing I played, and I played last night, was the first time ever I played... what is it? You know what? I can't even think of the fucking name. Rogue Legacy.
Oh, nice.
That's actually what I ended up playing, was Rogue Legacy.
What'd you think?
I like it. I like it a lot. It reminds me of more or less a Flash game, to be honest.
I can see that.
I
can see that.
Basically, there is an end. There is an end to the game.
Yeah.
It's basically collecting enough to actually beat all the bosses, right?
Right.
So there's 4 bosses, and then there's, I guess, 2 major bosses. Because, I watched a speed run today. I had to. So, with that, like, when I first started off, Amanda was watching me play, and I was like, okay, and then I would just die. Like, 2 enemies in, die. 3 enemies in, die. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I keep getting, basically, it's the next person in succession. You pick from 3 people, and then you upgrade from there. And it took me a minute to kind of understand the upgrade system. But I got it all figured out now. It's extremely fun.
It looks awesome.
A really awesome game to play. So yeah, if anyone's interested in side scroller, I definitely recommend Rogue Legacy. I actually got it for free through PlayStation Plus, so I have it on my Vita and I have it on PS4. I think I have it on Steam as well. I must have picked it up from a Humble Bundle or a Steam sale.
Yeah, I think it was in a Humble Bundle at one point or something along those lines.
Yeah. So yeah, if anyone has Rogue Legacy, definitely play it. That game is incredibly fun. Another game I wanted to try that's kind of, going on side scrollers is Shovel Knight. I know Shovel Knight actually just came out for Vita, so I was going to pick it up on there.
That game's so fucking cool, man. You're in for a treat.
I heard it is very awesome. Yeah. Guacamelee, I haven't really did anything with. Guacamelee is extremely fun. It is a really good game. The art style's awesome. I think I just want more hack and slash than what Guacamelee is. Guacamelee is a lot of puzzle grinding, so it's a lot of.
There are puzzles, yeah.
It's a lot of go to this brick, smash this brick, and then basically you get an ability, and then you backtrack about 20 stages to go to that area. And it's fun. It's very fun. The story is absolutely hilarious, but I'd rather just kind of I'd spend my time somewhere else, personally.
Yeah.
And Guacamelee is incredibly fun, so
it is.
I recommend anyone to play it.
It's more of a Metroidvania than it is a hack and slash. So that's understandable to have an expectation for one thing, but it's like, this is kind of more of what I was hoping for.
And then tonight, me and Brad and Eric, Eric's out of town, but me, Brad, Kyle, and a couple others, Pat, and Matt are gonna pick back up Dota 2.
Oh,
and
shit.
We're falling down the hole again.
Rest in peace. In peace.
Other news, I unsubscribed from World of Warcraft.
Oh, man.
Well, I noticed that I was only logging in to do, this is what happens. Okay? Time for my
Fill us in. All right.
Time for my rant.
Let's hear it. All
right. I log in.
Uh-huh.
This is my daily routine, okay? I log in, sitting at my computer, and I'm like, okay, I got my coffee, drinking that.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's log into WoW, get on my Paladin. And then I log into this garrison. Now, World of Warcraft used to be cool because I used to log into a major city and there's a bunch of fucking people around. You know, like, there was a bunch of people doing random shit. Granted, I could log off an Orgrimmar, but that's besides the point.
Mm-hmm.
So, I log in to an empty garrison. I feel very alone. I immediately go and collect resources at my garrison because now it's a resource management game. And then I go and I send all my followers off like Mass Effect, and I send them off to do missions. And then I'm like, oh, okay, now it's time to play the game. So this is about 10 minutes in.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, now it's time to play the game. And at that point, I hit escape, and then I go to exit game, and then I play a different game. I don't know. There's just something that isn't capturing my attention with the game anymore.
No. I
truly cannot play it. Like I love to give WoW shit for being like bad and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Like, I always go back.
Yeah.
But the thing is like I can't. The game isn't allowing me to fucking have fun. Like it's pretty insane. I don't understand. I don't understand why, but I think it's due to the fact that the game isn't new to me anymore. I think that
that's fair.
I don't know though, because I can fucking go back and play Final Fantasy VII like 2 million times. But then again, I'm not playing it every day. So
that's fair too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think WoW has its place. I think I can play it off and on.
Yeah.
I don't ever think I'll be able to keep a steady subscription ever again.
You think if they did, and I doubt this will ever happen, but do you think if they did away with the subscription model, do you think that would help?
No,
cases like this?
Because honestly, I don't even care to pay the subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Like the subscription to me is like, is the fun worth $15? And usually I'm like, oh, it justifies $15. Sure, I'll log. If I log in for 15 days, it's $1 a day. Sure, okay, that's worth it for me. But then I just found myself not playing the game. You know, I played the I didn't even play the core of the game. I played this fucking side quest game that they have. Yeah. That is like the main part of the game. I am glad to hear that they are getting rid of the garrison coming forward because it did take away from the game. But I don't know. I think it's too much lost. I mean, World of Warcraft did suffer. I mean, they upped their subscriptions substantially prior to the newest expansion, almost to Wrath of the Lich King. Wow. And then they dropped all the way back down to what they were at Mists of Pandaria at the finish. So that's less than 6 months that they dropped all of their subscriptions that they basically gained. Yeah. It just shows you that the game isn't what it used to be because it can't keep people's attention. Then again,
well, how could it? You know, for that long.
That's true. And the thing is that one of the developers was saying is like, we see people coming back for content, they finish the content and leave. Yeah. And the way people play games now, which is totally true, is that people don't stick to a game. You know, like people really don't. People play a game, they play it to have fun. Once the fun is starting to diminish, then they move on to a new game.
I'm guilty of it too.
I'm fully guilty of it. I don't know how many times I went back to WoW, Dota. It's countless.
Yeah.
I mean, Grand Theft Auto is my sandbox game, and that just goes to show you that I always go back to it whenever I want to have just fun with something on the side.
Absolutely.
So, I'm fully guilty of that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a trend, and now that games are more ubiquitous and there's more different types of games, well, man, you don't want to limit yourself to only playing WoW or only playing Grand Theft Auto. There's a whole world of games out there.
There are so many games out there. Just to go a little off topic, me and a guy at work were having a conversation about Counter-Strike and about how back in the day Counter-Strike as an esport was extremely huge, right? and we were trying to see if Twitch TV was available back in the day, how many active subscribers would there be? I did some research. Okay, so I believe Dota has their concurrent user base. I'd have to look it up on Steam, but I think that how many people play Dota per day, the maximum hits is like 200 and something, 300,000. Is it a million? I don't really fucking know.
Got me.
Hold on.
But you know,
I have to check.
We have the technology.
Okay, we do have the technology. Yeah. I do have Steam.
I know that
if only I could find my mouse pointer.
I know that it's fairly consistently the number one slot on Steam stats, like, you know, at any given point of the... Well, not any given time of the day, but mostly any given time of the day.
Right. I forget how I can find that.
I think there is something under, like, the... I want to say there's, like, just a... Like, there's just a stats option.
There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So let's see what the current, like, as of right now, or, like, the last hour update.
So Dota 2, current players... Okay. Yeah, okay. The peak of players today was 881,000 players. Okay? The peak of players playing Counter-Strike back in 2004 was actually 400,000. Which is actually pretty impressive, if you think about it.
It is.
And I didn't believe my friend. This is where it comes down to, is like, I didn't believe him that 400,000 people play Counter-Strike. So I went back into the stats, right? And he was like, I guaranteed more people play Counter-Strike than play Dota. I was like, I don't think that's true. I was like, maybe on a general day, yeah, sure, okay. Yeah. But I was like, in overall, Dota has just fucking evolved into a monster.
It has.
So, I don't even know where I was even getting with this. But, yeah, I mean, like, okay. Games in general, okay, so...
Bring it back around, we're good.
I'm bringing it back around.
All right, we're good.
Counter-Strike back in 2004, the reason so many people played it is because everyone had it.
Yeah.
And the reason everyone had it is because there was no fucking PC games. You know, like, there was PC games.
There were.
But there wasn't PC games like there was console games. Like, there was, like, 20 PC games, right, that were actually decent enough to play on your PC at any given time. And in the multiplayer aspect...
I think that's exactly it. I think because of the multiplayer aspect... Well, in Counter-Strike, you can play single player for like 30 minutes in the tutorial.
Condition Zero does have a story.
That's true, but that was console only.
No, it was actually.
Oh, was it on PC?
Yeah, it's on PC.
Oh, you're right. You're totally right. It is PC as well.
Yes.
Yeah. I was mistaken, but I mean, the focus is like 99% multiplayer. So I think the multiplayer component was what fed it.
Exactly. So anyone who was like, "Oh, I have a PC, I want to play a multiplayer game," was like, "Oh, let's play Counter-Strike."
What else?
So. And it just goes to see that nowadays we have such a diversity of games.
Yep.
And this stat is even more impressive. 800,000 people with the amount of games that we have out for PC today is absolutely ridiculous. It goes to show you how many people are actually playing PC games.
And this is just a Tuesday evening.
Yeah, this is Tuesday. This is a Tuesday evening. The peak today was 800,000. Counter-Strike Go is at 500,000 today. Currently, they're both sitting at above 200,000. Team Fortress 2 is still oddly playing. I don't even know how. I don't understand.
I don't think it's that odd, honestly. Now, what's odd to me is seeing Gary's Mod on that list. And that's a good thing. It's a good odd. But I would have never guessed.
Peak today, 36,000.
Yeah, I would have never expected. And Gary's Mod is usually in the top 10.
And Elder Scrolls, obviously. That's
of course, yeah. Yeah, there's some fairly
obvious Clicker Heroes. Now, I've heard about Clicker Heroes. I've never looked into this game. What the fuck is this?
I have no idea. It doesn't really appeal to me personally.
Oh. Oh god, this seems painful. Oh my god, this seems too... What the fuck is this? Okay, I'm done.
It's exactly what you think it is.
Jesus.
Yeah, it is not really my thing.
Yeah, that's not mine either.
It is popular. Okay. I'll give them that.
Well, how about we get started, Alex?
Woo!
I mean, we already technically got started.
We're starting to get started.
We are 27 minutes in, including whatever we started with as far as the songs were going. A couple things that happened in the past week that we both wanted to talk about. So, one of the things we talked about last week was like WildStar and how pitiful it was. It was last week or the week before.
No, you're right. It was actually, I can't remember exactly when it was, but it did come up in discussion.
It did come up, and I talked about how shitty my time was with leveling.
WildStar, more like. You gonna say it?
No.
WildStar. All right, I'll see you later. I'm out of here.
All right. Thank you. He'll be back next Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe. You'll be out of town. I'll just walk into his apartment.
This is true. This is true.
Just kick the door in.
WildStar is now going free to play. They're not
Yes.
officially free to play yet. I think it's September.
Oh, okay.
They're free to play.
Mhm.
Don't hold me to that. But yeah. So free to play. So did Elder Scrolls already went free to play, didn't they?
They went they nixed the subscription, but I think there's still I think you have to buy the game.
You do have to buy the game.
But I don't think there's a subscription.
Okay, so there are no subscriptions. So they're going the normal MMO free to play path, which is
free
free to no subscription.
Yeah, like
Okay.
there's no real there's
It's
no
not
easy
really free to play. You're
Yeah.
still buying the game.
Buy
you
to
still
play.
have to buy. Yeah, I
I don't know.
that
That's
sounds
weird.
like just a normal game.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll just call it that. It's a normal goddamn game.
Buy
Yeah.
to.
Buy to play.
I've been using this buy to play technology.
You mean Diablo 2? How novel.
Yeah.
This 2001 technology.
So, WildStar's going free to play.
Mhm.
I was playing Heroes of the Storm the other day,
Mhm.
and some guy was like, "I can't wait for WildStar to go free to play so I can play." And I was like, I was just told straight. I was like, "Hey, you don't want to do that." And I was like, well, "WildStar is shit, man. I would not do it." And he's like, "No, it's better, man. They patched it to help people." I was like, "First off, it's like companies don't go free to play because they made something better. All right,
Yeah,
that's the
true.
general rule. Okay."
Sad.
When people go free to play, they're trying to make up of the overhead costs they use to buy and make the game.
Yeah.
So, I guarantee what they're doing is they're going to have a bunch of microtransactions within the game. It's not going to be free pay to win. It's not going to be a pay to win system.
Hopefully not.
I'm sure you're still going to level. You're still going to do your normal thing. They're probably going to cap a bunch of things. So, like doing dungeons or doing raids, any type of that.
Yeah.
Star Wars, the Old Republic does it, where you can play all the levels. You can level your character all the way up. Once you reach max level, you cannot do dungeons and you cannot do raids without buying the packs. You have to buy the subscription packs to actually do it. And nobody does it. I mean, people do it, obviously. People who are extremely diehard fans and don't understand how to play a good game.
Shots fired.
But I imagine WildStar's going to do something similar.
I can see that. It's definitely a trend that I know both of us have noticed with MMOs in general, and it's mostly MMOs, but
the only thing that WoW has over its head is the fact that it's been around for so long and they have a lot of dedicated people. I mean, even though they lost all their subscribers that they gained potentially, they still are running, like 5 million, 6 million subscribers. They're in no way short on cash.
Let's just put that in perspective. People say only 5 million subscriptions. Only 5 million. Come on, let's be real.
Only 5 million.
Such a struggle.
Then again, Dota 2 did have almost 1 million concurrent players playing it today.
Today, yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, compared to their peak, 5 million is a fairly significant.
Which
small,
I believe that Blizzard kind of hinted that Hearthstone is actually making more money than Warcraft is.
I believe it. Well, do I? I don't know. That's a tough sell. You think so?
Think about this. Hearthstone, you have to pay for everything.
Okay? Yes, so I've heard.
You literally have to pay for everything. You can play the basic game. No one wants to do that. You want to buy cards, okay? Yeah. So I'm like in this Pokemon Magic the Gathering phase. I'm like, give me these fucking card packs.
Yep.
They're only $2. I wish Pokemon cards booster packs were $2. Come on. They were like $5.
Yeah, I was gonna say $2. That's chump change, man.
No shit. So
I'm a grown ass man. I can buy like 10 of those.
You can actually it's only $1 for a card.
Oh damn!
Or
20.
100 coins. You can buy a 2-pack. That's the least you can buy with money is like a 2-pack or something like that. Anyways, you buy that and then you're like, oh well, I have these cards. You play around a little bit and you're like, man, what's this thing called the arena? And the arena's like, hey, you could pay $3 and you can get into the arena, but you get a reward for everything. So you feel rewarded when you get done. See,
even better.
They're doing it right.
Yeah.
You get rewarded and you're like, oh well, I could do that again.
Yeah.
You get a card pack. So basically, essentially, you're just buying cards at this point. It's just a way to buy cards. But you feel like you're playing and winning.
Are there any stats on like the number of users for Hearthstone?
No, they keep them private. They keep the stats private. They haven't broadcasted. The only thing they said was basically, "Whoa, that's a lot of money."
Yeah. Well, that's a fair way to put it, I think.
I'm almost positive that it's making more money. I
mean, I'd be interested to see the numbers, to say like the number of users, but I mean, if they were competitive to, from a scale perspective, then I don't know, man.
Any PC can play Hearthstone.
Any device.
Any Android, Apple, iOS, any tablet can play Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally fucking play Hearthstone on anything.
You play it while sitting on the toilet.
I have done that. I've done it many times.
You can't play WoW sitting on the well. I mean, when there's a will, there's a way. Should you play WoW in the toilet? Should be the better question to ask.
Wait, in the toilet?
In the toilet, sitting inside of it. That's how you use the toilet too, right?
Don't
tell me I'm not the only. Don't tell me I'm the only one.
I go feet first.
Okay, good. I was self-conscious for a bit, but you saved me. We're good. All right.
So, okay, I think the way for them to go free to play is the right thing for them in general.
Yeah.
Because they need to make money back, most definitely.
Well, I mean, we've seen that games that go free to play is a great way to basically print money. I can't remember what game it was, but it was a mobile game that started with just the standard like $1.99 price, and then when they went free to play with the microtransactions, they increased their profits by like 480% in 1 month, and they were like, noted. So, I mean, like it or not, it's a thing that works.
I think it was last week after we got done doing ours. It was the next day.
Oh.
I posted that link about Konami and their nice little press report, and they stated that we are only doing mobile game. As racist, fascist, and racist. I don't understand. Anyways, as racist as possible.
Yep. Yeah, they said it racist. They said it racistly. Yeah, they were very racist.
They were very racist about it. No, they said that mobile games is the future for them, and that's pretty much the future for gaming.
And if you don't like it, you can suck it. Yep. I mean, that's not what they said.
That's pretty much. And there's also no word on. They've never publicly stated anything about Silent Hills or what happened to Hideo Kojima. But we all basically know
that they've killed him.
They have murdered him,
buried him,
have created an android Hideo Kojima
bot.
Yes.
2.0.
And he is now creating their mobile games.
Yes. And he will one day kill us all. So, you heard it here first. Remember this day.
Yes, remember this day.
This day we fight.
Do you have any more things to say about WildStar going free to play?
I don't really have much of a dog in this fight since, I mean, Justin knows I'm not a huge MMO.
No.
And since the Secret World's the only one I've really gotten into. And it's the free to buy, the buy to play, the play to buy, the standard buy a game and play it route. I mean, if a game like that were to go free to play, that would be an interesting dynamic, especially for a game that's been out for, I think it came out originally in 2012, originally was subscription based. That would have meant that they would have gone the full gambit of subscription,
what came out in 2012?
The Secret World.
Oh, okay.
And it was subscription based at that point. But yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, the game seems fairly comfortable where they're at.
Yeah.
They're still releasing new content, new not quite expansions, but new. They call them issues, but new story chapters basically. Some are for free, some you have to buy. But the fact that they're still making new stuff makes me think that they're doing okay. But I know WildStar was lots of hype leading up to it. Released to so reception. I get the feeling that, like you would describe, they're probably trying to recoup some of what might have been lost.
They spent a lot of money making that game.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first 6 months, they fired half their staff. So.
Oh man, I hadn't heard that. That is harsh. Yeah, shit like that. That's a bad sign. But I mean, I don't know. People enjoy it. I hope people enjoy it. I hope people.
There is a bunch of people who do enjoy it. I see a bunch of stuff on Twitter still about them tagging WildStar and stuff like that. Because I'm still subscribed. Still following somebody that was WildStar fanatic at the time.
Yeah.
When I was going through my crazy phase.
I hope it works out for them.
I hope that they get their money back. I mean, honestly, the game has been worked on pretty well. It's just they didn't execute it correctly. The game is a beautiful game. The combat's fun and stuff. They didn't execute what they needed to do. They kind of redid WoW except with a different combat, and it just didn't work.
MMOs are tricky.
MMOs are very tricky.
That's a hard thing.
I would suggest any developer trying to make an MMO just to stop.
Just don't,
and make something else.
Yeah.
Unless you want to make a good MMO, like one that actually uses real skill systems.
Step 1, have a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
And step 2, get more money because it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, it won't be enough. The guy that made Ashen's Call, one of the lead developers from Ashen's Call, is actually currently making an MMO. Right?
Really?
And he's tried to kickstart it twice now and has failed both times because he can't get enough momentum. But I would love for that game to come to fruition because I like the games where based upon what ability you use is how you gain skill.
Yeah.
So like in this game that he's creating. So like in Ashen's Call, the more you use a certain type of magic, that magic skill actually raises, and then you can spend skill points to learn more about it. I don't know. I could go on for days how awesome Ashen's Call is. I personally played it after the whole thing because my friend Brad was extremely into Ashen's Call. But once I understood the game, I was like, man, I would have loved playing this game back in the day. Like I would have loved playing that game.
Yeah.
Just good skill systems. The ability to run around not knowing what you're doing because there's no real quests in the game.
Story of my life.
It's a lot of grinding. It's a lot of actually it's called hunting. They call them hunting because you go on hunting parties and you just kill mobs and stuff like that. The way you learn spells in the game is, Brad was telling me back in the day, they didn't have buttons for the spells. You didn't have an actual icon that you click. You typed the spell out.
Awesome.
You had to actually, and it wasn't the spell name. You typed like what the person would say
to
do the spell.
That's awesome.
So I was like, okay,
that's impressive.
Is really cool.
That is cool.
The spell weaving system is really cool. I need to get Brad on here to talk about Ashen's Call because he could talk for like hours.
Oh man, yeah, Ashen's Call, just special super chat 64 special, Brad Wells edition.
Let's talk about a little bit about the Nintendo NX and earlier this week. A bunch of sites posted that they were going to go Android-based. Now, I personally think that going Android-based would be a decently smart idea, but I don't know how Android's architecture is in regards to being able to perform with a gaming system. So it would definitely be new. It would be a new thing for everybody.
It would. Well, it would be new for Nintendo at least.
But I was reading today that it was most likely a false rumor that's kind of been spreading. So what were your thoughts on it? I know you being a Nintendo fanboy.
A disgusting Nintendo fanboy. An underdweller. Well, it's just like you said, I think by this point, it's pretty much a rumor. I know that supposedly the source that it came from, and I don't even know how confirmed this is, but supposedly it came from a fairly reputable Japanese source that's been correct in the past, but still it's kind of wibbly-wobbly. And to further wibbly-wobbly it, the report was that they were considering it as an option. So it's a rumor that they're considering it, still fairly loosey-goosey. But I think it would make sense that they're considering it. I mean, Nintendo, I love them to death, but they've not gotten their shit together with regards to third parties. The first party stuff is solid, and that's really what makes the hardware sing. But third party developers have been a little bit dubious in previous generations. Second party, they've had a lot of great luck with over the past 2 generations with the Wii and the Wii U. I know that Platinum Games is slowly becoming one of my favorite developer companies. They've churned out some really, really cool shit.
What has Platinum made? I've heard the name so many times.
They made Wonderful 101. I think they were the ones. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna mess this up, but I think they might have been the ones that developed Bayonetta, and also the ones who developed Metal Gear Revengeance. I think. I would have to double check on Revengeance. I would have to double check on the Metal Gear Solid hack and slasher.
Oh.
You remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they developed it, but I'm not 100% sure.
And Bayonetta 2 was gonna be. Did it come out?
It came out. I don't know if Platinum developed it.
It is only for Nintendo, correct?
That is correct. For the time being, that might change, but I would be surprised if it came out for other consoles. The only reason it came out at all was because of Nintendo. So I don't know. It could happen, but probably not. If it came out at all for other consoles, it probably wouldn't be until next year.
Okay.
But yeah, with the NX rumors, like I said, it would make sense because with the whole third party thing, everyone knows that Android operating systems got tons of third party shit on there.
Yes.
Kind of literally, some of it is garbage, but lots of it is really good stuff. So that would be a really easy avenue for a developer or a publisher to say, oh, hey, well, we have our game on the Android market anyway, so boom, automatically on the Nintendo market, we didn't have to do anything else. Well, maybe some, maybe some optimization on it, but really, if it works on one Android device, you can fairly reasonably assume that it will work on any Android device that runs that same OS. This isn't always the case. I know that the Ouya, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, you might remember the Ouya.
Ouya, I don't really know how it's said.
But I know that one was an Android operating system.
Yes,
console, and that there were some.
It was a lot of. It was weird.
It was weird. And is weird. I don't think it's gone away. I think it's still doing stuff.
It still exists. Doesn't
It still exists, and they're still doing stuff. I don't know how it's. I mean, I don't think it's been widely successful, but they're still going at it.
Playing just basically Android App Store games.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. I know that there were multiple attempts to try and attract developers to make things exclusive for like the first 6 months for their there was basically a funding campaign that they were trying to do, and it didn't work out super well. But yeah, that's a good example of a gaming device that's Android based. And I know that when it first came out, there were some complaints about how certain games that played just fine on smartphones were really chugging on this micro console that supposedly had better stats than the cell phones of the age. I think by that point, a lot of those kinks have been worked out just over time. So I mean, that's an example where it's not exactly a catch-all. It has to be done right, but I don't know. I think it would be an interesting decision. My only concern is how Nintendo friendly it would be. I mean, Nintendo really went pretty hard. They went pretty ham into making like the Wii U OS. I mean, well, they custom built it. Same with the 3DS, into making it feel very Nintendo-y. When you first log onto Wii U, it's very bright and colorful.
Yes.
The interface is I mean, it's fairly simple, but it's very easy to pick up, and it's very friendly, and it's just very pleasant to interact with. And that's not to say they couldn't do that kind of stuff with Android, but the fact that they've custom built everything means that they have control over everything. Whereas with Android stuff, pretty damn customizable, but they're not everything is completely at their whim. So it depends on how much control they're willing to yield, and with this next generation. And like we've talked about in the past, we're not gonna know anything about this console really probably for another couple of years. Yeah. So a lot of it is just kind of hearsay and rumors, but
I'm glad it's interesting that, because I think Amanda and I will eventually buy a Wii U.
Oh yeah, so. I know you guys were. Yeah, we were chatting about that last week, and I was trying my best to convert you. So yes. We'll see if these planting of seeds will grow anything.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, it's in fact, I think I mentioned I had a friend over yesterday. We played the newest stages for Mario Kart 8. Motherfucker, I love that game. Holy shit.
I've heard it's amazing. I really would like to play it. Stupid game is
so good. Oh, I love it. And the new tracks, because there were 2 DLC packs, one that came out last year and one that came out a few weeks, I guess it was more like a month or 2 ago. And I had never gotten around to playing the newest of those, and we played them yesterday, and they're so good. So yeah, there's a lot to be said about the Wii U.
Xenoblade is coming out for Wii
U. I know it's coming. Wait, is it already out for the new 3DS?
It is out for the new 3DS, but we want it on Wii U.
I actually didn't realize it was coming out for the Wii U. If it is, then that's awesome.
Yeah, it looks great.
That sounds
apparently,
awesome. Yeah.
It takes what does it take? It takes a long ass time to get from one end to the other.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's apparently an open world game.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So, I remember reading something on Reddit today about them. It takes a metric fuck ton.
Nice.
Piss ton.
Yep.
I mean, just a ton.
Tons of piss. So much piss.
Is a ton of piss and a ton of shit worth? I mean, is it like worth the same? I mean, is it like in time?
I mean,
how long would it take you to make a shit ton versus a piss ton?
It's a ton of feathers and a ton of bowling balls weigh the same amount, but these are the things we need to consider.
But how much time? I'm looking for time.
But time wise, how much time would it take you to dig through that ton of bowling balls versus the ton of feathers? Yeah, that's a good question. I really don't know, and I haven't really looked much into Xenoblade. Yeah, I didn't realize it was coming out for the Wii U.
Yeah,
but that's encouraging.
We Amanda saw a preview for it, and she was like, "I want this," and I was like, "Oh, I think this is coming to 3DS." This is before I knew it was coming to Wii U.
Yeah.
And I was like, "This looks great.
Yeah,
like, this game looks insanely good." And then we looked at the 3DS one, and she was like, "I don't know if I would enjoy that. Like, I don't know if I would enjoy this."
Yeah.
But the preview she was seeing for the Wii U one, she was like, "I think I could enjoy this."
Uh-huh.
Like, I fully believe I could, and so.
Well, I can tell you, Xenoblade originally came out on the Wii.
Did it?
Yeah, and I know that. I mean, if nothing else, I know that the Wii U plays Wii games. But yeah, I know that it came out for the Wii and was super well received. I know a lot of people really, really dug it. So, I know that it's been on a home console past, so it wouldn't be much of a stretch to bring it to the Wii U. So that seems like a cool idea to me.
Wii U's got some good games coming out soon.
It does.
The new Zelda is coming out. I know that.
Yeah, not this year. It'll be 2016.
No, I'm sure we'll see something on it this year, though.
We probably will. We'll probably see either between their E3 stuff or maybe another Nintendo Direct or something. I'm sure we'll at least get some new info. Yeah, they had one just a couple days back, and I haven't actually had a chance to watch it. But yeah, I mean, I my thoughts on the Wii U. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's distinctly different from the PS1, Xbox One, and the PS4. I mean, both those have been selling so much better, and they've got all these other third-party games going for them. So I mean, it's hard to see the Wii U as a direct competitor because it's really not competing with them for better or worse.
No.
But it is a different, very
I think
unique beast.
It's a very different. It's a different system.
It is.
It isn't a. It's a AAA title system in a different aspect. Like what I mean
it's a fair way
is
to
like.
put it.
I see me and Amanda buying Wii U as we get people to come over and play with us. Like I see it as a multiplayer platform.
Yeah.
But for like a local multiplayer platform as well. So I mean, they got it going with like Super Smash and stuff like that. They got it going with the awesome Mario games. I mean, it's different buying a PS4 because PS4 I'm looking for games that are like Witcher and I'm looking for games that are like ultimate platformers. When I think about Wii U, I'm thinking about Mario Kart would be fucking awesome.
Yep.
I would love to have the newest Mario Party. You know, like it's just games that I would like to play with people.
Yep.
Compared to I want PlayStation to be my single player experience.
Yeah, or online player. That's just you versus online. That's understandable. That's a good way to sum it up. I can dig it.
Would you like to move on?
Next topic.
I think we got time for one more topic.
Let's do it.
I think. Yeah, we're running like 50 minutes or something like that. We can do one more topic.
Let's do that shit.
Me and you earlier were talking, and I like to quote it, blue ballin' bastards in gaming. All right. So we were speaking earlier before we started the stream. We were kind of coming up with a few extra topics we could talk about today. And Alex had brought up to me that a lot of times developers hype the shit, and then it comes out and it's nothing what you think it is. So I'll start off on a certain developer of mine that blue-balled me.
No names.
I mean, they blue-balled me and then punched me in the nuts right afterwards. I mean,
that's
like,
the worst
it's just the most excruciating thing. So what they did was they worked me up by giving me a glimpse of this awesome version of Midgar in Final Fantasy VII. Started off, gave me the title, showed Aerith. It was doing the entire opening scene, and I'll never forget this fucking press conference, man. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, so this is This is gonna be Final Fantasy VII. This is gonna be the remake that I've always been waiting for. And they're like, this is running on PlayStation 3. This is running PlayStation 3 technology. Like, they redid the entire first cinematic.
It's pretty impressive.
Oh my god, it was great.
It
the train's fucking rolling. You know, like it's scrolling through Midgar. I just had like this massive erection the entire time because I was like, I cannot believe this is happening. I can't believe
it's happening.
I would give any amount of money to play this game.
Yep.
And at the end, they say everything. They show Final Fantasy VII, running on PlayStation 3. And then nothing ever happened.
All right. Have a good night, folks. And then that was it.
It was a fucking tech demo.
Yep.
It was a literal tech demo for PlayStation.
Yeah.
To show the ability of their cinematic qualities on the PlayStation software, running on PlayStation hardware.
Just a tease. Just to tickle your pickle.
I don't know why they did that.
It's to build you up, Buttercup.
But it's okay, because, they just keep re-releasing Final Fantasy VII for every fucking device they have. So it's okay. I mean, they're still making money off of it. They don't actually have to do anything. Shit, they just released the last thing was the Final Fantasy VII for PC.
Yes.
And they were like, yeah. And I talked about it before, the whole fucking 30-frame bullshit.
Yep.
Oh my god, I'm tired of them. I'm so sick of Squaresoft busting my balls over that shit.
Squaresoft. That's a name. That's a name I haven't heard for many a long year.
Okay, Square Enix.
There you go.
And they're fucking bullshit.
I love Squaresoft. I'll play Squaresoft games all fucking day.
Right. Okay. I'll give Square Enix one other thing though. Kingdom Hearts has been a great series.
Yeah.
It just has been awesome. They're also milking that for all it's worth.
As they are wont to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nintendo DS, guys, we're coming onto your platform.
Prepare your buttholes.
Okay, game.
Prepare your dollar holes.
So yeah. How about your story? You got a story of blue balling bastards in gaming?
Well, when we were originally talking, or what led us to this topic, was so you mentioned the tech demo for the PS3, and this was like, I guess so. This was probably before the PS3 came out when they were touting it.
Yes.
Well, probably when they first announced it. Right now, I think about it. But a couple years back, by this point, Final Fantasy VII, I think was on the PSN. And this is just the old school version, was on the PlayStation Network.
Okay.
But there weren't any there had been no remakes or anything of that sort. And by that point, a version of it came out on Steam with updated textures. It's hard to call it an HD remake because it's not. But call it like a remix, if that makes any sense. So PlayStation, so Sony's doing this press conference, and they're like, "Oh, but there's one more surprise we'd like to show you." And they drop the lights. Oh shit, what's going on? They play the music. Oh man, it's Final Fantasy VII. They show the logo. Holy shit, it's happening. .gif. It's a port. Yay! And people are like, "Dude,
oh my
what
god,
the fuck?
I know exactly
Why would
what
you
you're talking
do
about.
that?" Because by this point, what they were trying to say is you can play Final Fantasy VII in the remixed version on PS4 now. How cool is that? Isn't that great, guys? And everyone else is just like, why? So, yeah, blue balls to the extreme
I'll
for
never
days.
forget that. That was recent, wasn't it? That was pretty decently recent.
It would have been
It was like last year.
It would have been, yeah, I think last year, because it was for the PS4,
Yeah.
and that's why there was so much excitement, because it was like, holy shit, could this be it? And
Yeah,
they were like,
coming
yep,
to the PS4.
it's Final Fantasy VII. Oh, by the way, it's it's just the same thing that you've seen before.
That's
Anyway,
pretty much
moving
what
on.
they did with Final Fantasy X as well. When they reported the port that they already ported over to Vita and PlayStation 3.
Yep.
And then they were like, "Oh, let's just use that same one, but we'll say we did stuff
Yep.
with it." And they haven't done anything, by the way. No, there's no changes between the two.
That's unfortunate.
So,
I mean, I know that we've talked a little bit about ports in general, just with games and how sometimes it's awesome. I mean, there have been plenty of successful ports or even HD remakes. I know one of my favorite examples in my disgusting Nintendo fanboyism was the remake of Wind Waker for the Wii U.
that was actually really good, wasn't
It was awesome because I played the game for the GameCube, the original game for the GameCube, and loved it. It was a fun game. It was not without its faults. The Triforce Quest was kind of a pain. Like, you pretty much needed either a guide or the internet to really do it. And there were some snippets and pieces that were just kind of hokey, but overall, it was a good 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Really
Yeah,
enjoyed
I
the game.
heard it was very good.
But then the remake comes out. Not only do they make it look pretty, because it's a very pretty looking game, but they did fix a lot of the issues, a lot of the gripes that I personally had. They made the Triforce Quest much more palpable, and they changed around a lot of the things, like the Tingle camera thing. They changed to fit more with the Wii U functionality. So it was a remake plus other things. So
That's
it was nice to see that.
So it's actually worth buying at that point.
Yeah, it was. I paid full price for it because I knew, man, this is there are so many new experiences here. It's not just a Control V. It's a new stuff as well to, wet your whistle if you've already played the original game. So
Yeah.
it was, and of course, it was a great excuse for me to play Wind Waker again. It had been a couple years, but ports can be done right. And I know that, on the PlayStation side, I know that I was talking to one of my buddies. He was saying he was looking forward to playing The Last of Us on PS4. Because even though the Last of Us for the PS3 came out not terribly long ago, it was ported to the PS4, and I've heard a lot of good things about that version. A lot of people saying that it was done really well.
The Last of Us? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually own The Last of Us.
Yes, you do.
Version. So,
Bam!
Yeah, right over there. You guys cannot see it on the stream because it's getting darker in the room as it goes. But
Yes.
I do have a Last of Us. I got it with the PS4.
Yeah.
And I will say that from the comparisons that I've seen, and then me playing the
Yeah.
game, and it's pretty impressive.
I've heard it's
for
awesome.
what they've done.
Yeah.
So a lot of the textures were updated. Gameplay is extremely smooth. Yeah, they did it right for PS4. My only regret is that Amanda was playing, and then I took the controller at one point, and then the game was over. That's what I remember from the game. And then she now always states that anytime we're gonna get a new game, she
Uh-huh.
always says, "Oh, so you're gonna play it?"
I don't know what happened. Where did the last 16 hours of my life go?
So yeah, my fault. Totally my fault for playing so much.
Is that-
But you just get sucked into the things.
When a game's that good, that's if nothing else, it's a sign that the game is fucking awesome.
Yep.
It's a good problem to have. I can dig it.
Yeah, HD remakes, you pretty much nailed the head. The Wind Waker one was awesome. Didn't DS have a DS Majora's Mask looks awesome.
Oh yeah, I haven't had a chance to play that one yet, but yeah, you're right. They did one.
I
for
have on the
Majora's
list
Mask.
for Amanda to play on her DS.
Good stuff.
Ocarina of Time and
Mhm.
Majora's Mask.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah, and yeah, for the original DS, there was the Super Mario 64 remake that they did for as a launch title for the DS. So yeah, there's Nintendo's definitely over the last generation or two, they've started to pay a little bit more attention to the remake remaster side of things. And I know for some people it's a little bit irksome because I know for
Sorry.
it's just random
Forgot to
explosions.
grind it up.
That's how it goes in Illinois. They just have explosions. You know how it goes. But yeah, I know that some see it with a little take it with a little bit of chagrin, where there's oh come on, we want you to spend development time on new games, not just remaking the same old bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something to be said for that. I mean, a lot of it for me is rose-colored glasses. I love the idea of Majora's Mask and Ocarina of remakes because I
Yeah.
fucking love those games. But if
Right.
I wasn't fans of those games, then I could see that being as not for me, and they're just doubling down on what I didn't enjoy. So, you gotta, from the developer's standpoint, they gotta be smart about or I guess a publisher's perspective, they gotta be smart about what they choose to remake.
True.
Because if it's too niche, then it's not gonna it's gonna hit too narrow of an audience, and it's gonna piss off more people.
Exactly. I fully understand that. I mean, I would love for Final Fantasy VII to be a remake. You already know this. Everybody already knows this.
And it would sell well.
It would sell well.
Yeah.
But there'd be a lot of people pissed off because you know how many people also want a Final Fantasy VI, want a 7 or 8 remake, want a 9 remake. All these people want they want every Final Fantasy to be a remake, especially the ones that were only on PlayStation. So I can't blame them.
Yeah. If this were a comic book, you would have a thought bubble like bloop bloop bloop, and you up here in this corner of the screen, you would see a little Alex imaginatory version of what a HD Final Fantasy VI would look like. That's what that's a world that I'm that's a dream world that I'm in right now. When you said that, I was like, dude, what the fuck? Because I love Final Fantasy VI more than a grown man should.
I have
disgusting.
heard that. I have never played Final Fantasy VI.
It's good.
Final Fantasy VI.
It's good. It's strikingly different from 7, for better or
Obviously,
worse.
no. I know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But
I totally get that.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, I don't even consider... Final Fantasies only have one thing in common to me, which is the fact that they all share the same spell names and stuff like that.
Yeah. Item
names. Never the
names.
same story.
Yeah,
unless
that's fair.
they're obviously the sequels, which they only started to do recently.
Yes.
So...
Lightning Returns.
Lightning Returns, X2.
X2.
Yep. Get real. But they never have the same story. Generally they have different, they add a new combat sequence or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, each individual game is its own.
It is.
100%.
It is. But also just how they play. I know most of the 8-bit and 16-bit Final Fantasies versus the 7 and beyond, how a lot of people say that well, I mean, you can see it with 6. I mean, with 6 they started to go fairly cinematic. They were limited technologically speaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can just tell they were heading in that direction. They were leaning in that direction, starting with 6, then the whole cinematic aspect of it, and then with 7 they went full hog, and it's worked out for them.
7, yeah, the 7 they wanted to utilize everything with the PlayStation, PlayStation's hardware. So more power to them. They made a bunch of block hand people, and it worked.
So it's part of the
But it wasn't about
aesthetic.
the block hands. It was about Sephiroth. It was about the amazing
Swords.
story that game was, and
the
I will
story.
stand by that story for all of my life.
It's true, and that's one thing that, for the Final Fantasy games that have done well, that seems to be the common thread, is that there's usually a badass story. Not always, but if people enjoy it, that usually means if it's regarded as a good Final Fantasy game within the community, it's probably got a badass story.
Final Fantasy X, story-wise, I actually personally love the story of the game. I think it's a very well done story. I think that the concept is cool. I think what people kind of butcher is the fact that a lot of cinematic scenes in the game are very uncalled for. They just don't make any sense. Titus and Yuna laughing.
I did. I was going to bring it up. I was
over
not
a
going to
balcony
bring it up.
makes no sense.
Yeah.
Some Japanese man was like, "I think this is funny. Let's put this in here," and they
It's a
did.
cultural thing.
It must be.
That's how they laugh in Japan.
Ha 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 ha.
Ah, God.
Ha 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 ha.
It's like nails on a chalkboard.
My favorite part is the fact that the way that the polygons work in that game is whenever he's like always shaking like he has Parkinson's. So he's like,
I got the shakes.
ha 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 ha, and then he's like,
I'm having a stroke. I'm stroking
it's
out.
even worse in the HD version. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I bet.
So,
Oh man, warts and all.
yes. I have no more topics. I think we should cut it there.
Shall we
for
kill it?
today's- For today, we'll leave it at an hour.
Let's kill it dead.
Thanks for the people that did join. Nobody chatted with us today. I was sad.
That's how it goes.
But we win some and lose some.
Yep. They got
That's
nervous.
how it works. Anyways, thanks for those that did watch, and we'll pop it up on YouTube
Yep.
for the archive for everyone else.
For proof.
Anyways,
Evidence.
today I'm going to leave you guys with some chip tunes that I actually recently found.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys are going to get a loading bar because I haven't made a thanks for watching banner yet.
It's unloading.
Yes. So, anyways,
Uninstalling.
thanks for coming, and we will see you all next week.
See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Same chat time, same chat channel.